Queen Myesha here at La Cool Radio. I have a wonderful guest. I've never ever interviewed someone quite like her. So I'm going to let her introduce herself. Who are you?
Perfect. My name is Anna Reynoso, and I am a broker and owner of Anna Reynoso Properties Inc.
Oh, very, very nice. A woman who's doing her thing and owning stuff. Go
There it
ahead,
is.
girl. You're an inspiration to all of us.
Well, thank you. So I have been in real estate, so it's been since 2004. And when I was in real estate in 2004, I went through real estate like every other agent out there. And what could I tell you? I acquired a lot of clients, relationships. I was able to learn a lot about real estate, how things worked, how the economy worked. And when the market crashed,
I remember that.
right?
Yes.
So things happened for everybody where nobody knew what to do. And then even agents like myself were like, whoa, what is it that we're able to do and how could we contribute and help out the community? So I was lucky that I was able to go in and apply to a local government agency and be a housing specialist. So through that opportunity, I was able to go in, offer down payment assistance to the community to help them out to get into properties when the market had actually crashed. But what the need was in reality was that they needed actual foreclosure help. So what I ended up doing is putting together one of the first foreclosure workshops ever in California.
Wow. And when was this? What year was this?
So this was around 2007, 2008.
And how long were you in real estate when you actually did this?
So just a couple of years. It was like 2004. So I think it was like 2007 when it started crashing. So and I helped out around that time. So I ended up not knowing exactly what I was doing, meaning I just wanted to help folks coming in. They were crying. They were saying they were losing their house. They were talking about committing suicide. They were talking about just basically not having anywhere to live, and myself not knowing how could I impact the community, how could I help. I just decided to reach out, and I started calling like the Federal Reserve, the state, local nonprofit organizations, and trying to gather everybody together. And I asked them, could you guys just come to this housing workshop and put your little 2 cents in as to whatever you know? And they're like, we don't know that much. I said, whatever you know, we'll piece it together.
That's wonderful.
So we did an actual workshop, and we recorded it. We had it in CD, and everybody came together, and they were just so glad that somebody was able to put everybody together, and they exchanged numbers. And next thing you know, they created this Cal Housing Network that's still going on. It's pretty strong.
Wow, that's amazing.
Absolutely. So that was a really big treat for me to know that, just by wanting to do well, that something great would come out of it. So that happened. The market started stabilizing. I started getting into small business lending with the actual government as well, because then the commercial side of things started hitting. They started hurting, and so I started helping out, learning about businesses, how I could help them from ground up, how I could help them improve their businesses. So I created the Grow Tracy Fund. It was for the city of Tracy at the time that I was working. And that went really well as well. And that term ended. It was like 5 years. Throughout the 5 years, I volunteered for 3 years helping families save their homes.
Volunteered.
Yes.
Wow. How could you volunteer? Well, I know it's for a good cause.
Right, but the foreclosure workshops that they had all over the country?
Yes.
They started having them around the area, and they needed people that were certified counselors, and I was one.
And so they reached out to you.
Yes, and they
That's
knew
wonderful.
that I had put a couple of events together for Congressman McNerney and Kathleen Galgiani, at the time Assemblywoman, and so they asked, could you please continue helping? And next thing you know, I'm just 3 years of just helping and helping, but it came full circle.
Yeah.
So the city actually, that part was over, and then life changes happened. And I got into escrow and title, and I got into working for a developer, helping them build hotels, and helping with architectural design, business development as well. And I just started helping out other agents as well as to like how to grow their business. And I was working with top producers as well and trying to figure out, okay, what is it that they're working on? How could I help them? How could I be of service? Always coming of being out of service.
That's wonderful.
And so I learned a lot. I learned about the markets in different areas in California. I learned about people. I learned about who's making it, why they're making it, what's working for them, from those who are barely making it to those who are really making it. So I've seen the broad, vision of what could be done in real estate. And I started trying other things out. I literally did try different jobs as well because I was also trying to find myself
So
too.
you did things other than real estate at this time in your life?
Yeah, so it was like escrow, business development. I was working with CEOs trying to get them in so we could help build some hotels. And so just trying different variations of real estate and other things that I could do. But I just kept being pulled to helping folks out. It just kept coming back at me like, hey, but I need your help. And I'm like, no, because I was afraid of like what had happened with the market. And, I just thought, man, I know so much, I have so much information.
So
I
much
could
knowledge,
help.
yes.
Yeah, I could help other folks out and help them get started. And the more I started engaging, I realized that I had so much to offer and I just couldn't, it's like whatever you resist persists, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I just got to go with the flow now. And next thing you know, I started, studying and got my broker's license. And I was like, you know what? There's something behind this. And people started coming at me, asking me to help them out to get their first home. And I cannot tell you how amazing it feels to sit down with the family, go over what they plan for themselves. And how my mind works is like I get really creative as to, okay, I see the structure of like how their life is and how we could piece it together or make things work for them so they could actually make their life dream come true as to purchasing a property. And then some folks, they want to like then not just, they already have their property, but they want to step it up. So now they're going into investment.
Oh, okay.
So then it's like, okay, well, let's talk about that. Let's think long term and then be in realistic now terms, right? So you start working with them and you start talking to them and you come up with a plan. And just so the great part too is to have somebody there that's actually like really, really wants you to win.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I get a huge high off of somebody's situation actually working out for them. That's like, I can't explain. Like, I get text messages and feedback from family and friends and I say friends because they become my friends.
Oh.
And they tell me, they go, thank you so much, thanks for helping, and we never thought this would be possible.
Well, buying a house is a huge investment and a huge purchase and a big decision.
Absolutely.
So it's wonderful to have someone next to a person who's going to buy a house and actually hold their hand and be compassionate. Absolutely. And help them through it, and you help them through it all the way to the end.
Yes.
That's a wonderful thing because, I mean, I've heard of stories of people putting people in homes or just doing really shady things in real estate. So it's wonderful people like you that you have a history of helping people when they're, not going to have a roof over their head and they come to you and you bring a solution from your knowledge.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
They talked about, like in psychology, as a couple of things that will really put somebody into the deep end, if you want to call it. They talk about stability. They talk about, having definitely like your roof over your head. If you go through divorce or losing a family member or whatever it may be.
Yes.
But for a lot of folks in that time and era, it all happened. Like many of those tears happened. So you could just imagine what it did to a lot of people that were going through the economy changes. And I know, right, and I guess you could say I would like to speak a little bit about what's going on right now in the economy right now. So there's a lot of articles and they're talking about how it's slowing down and like what's going on. Well, the prices are going so high. A lot of folks are like, okay, I can't afford it. Something has to happen.
Especially in California, yes.
And they're expecting for it to actually crash. But I don't see that happening whatsoever. And maybe I'm like, hey, recording me now, but
you're being recorded, so
I'm just saying I don't see it happening.
Okay.
I do see the slowdown, absolutely, but I feel like everybody's just, it's like back in the day, right, when people were actually working and doing like warehousing jobs. Let's just say it that way. And then they were saying, "Oh, the machines, the robots are going to take your jobs. What are we going to do?" So then it's like, well, then things started changing. So you just adapt, you evolve, you go with it. And so what's happening now? That's similar. What's happening? I mean, okay, for example, today here right now, it's visual now. It's not just audio and we're just evolving, we're changing. So with that in mind, we have a lot of things that are changing. We're going into tech, we're an information country. So we're shipping everything outside. I could keep going on, but what I could share with you is that based off my interaction with those who I've spoken to, there's a lot of change still. People are still getting married, still getting divorced. People are still growing. They need more rooms right here. And there's always just change. You get another promotion, your company moves, you have to move. They have to sell, they have to buy. So there's always going to be the movement. As to, is there going to be a crazy demand on housing? I'm not quite sure, but there's definitely plenty of development for the next 5 years. There's plenty of housing being built, plenty of condos being built, and still might not be just enough. There's still folks, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe I'm wrong, but last time I heard, I believe that the tech industry in the San Jose area, there's still like 1 million jobs are still out there not being filled.
Wow.
So imagine, so they're going out of seas, getting people visas to temporarily come do some projects, then go out.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And so if you think each person plus family,
Need a place to stay.
housing, yeah. So what's happening too? You have I believe they're building more warehousing and more space for actual the LinkedIn, Facebook, Googles, and so they're spreading out. And what happens? More movement.
So would you get your hands in that?
Would I get my hands
into the San Jose area and all the growth?
You know what? So my area, I would say that it would be the East Bay area.
Okay.
So that's more where I'm working right now. And because I'm hiring right now, so I am looking for other real estate agents that have a like mind.
Okay.
That are like-minded and that they want to help, and they're not looking for the paycheck per se. That will follow.
Yeah.
But it's more of like they want to help, and that alone will revolve into referrals and everything else, and it'll just come full circle.
So if someone's listening right now and they have their real estate license and they love what you said tonight,
yes,
and they really want to work with you, how would they get a hold of you? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
I could throw out my number. I don't know if that's a smart thing to do,
but do you have Facebook?
I do have Facebook.
Instagram, email?
Instagram is best, I think.
Okay, what's Instagram?
ANA.LILIA.Reynoso, which is REYNOSO.
Keep one more time.
ANA.
Okay.
.LILIA.Reynoso, which is REYNOSO.
Okay.
It's a long one, but Ana Lilia Reynoso.
Okay. So someone who's sitting there that needs a job and listening to this, you might have a job,
Absolutely.
Work for a very smart woman.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. So right now, your business, how big is it? And what do you see happening in the future with your business?
So it's not that big. I just got my broker license literally months ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I was working for an amazing gentleman that I see as a mentor. He's a developer, does multi-million-dollar homes out in the Atherton and Burlingame and Hillsborough area. So I've been watching what he's been doing. I very much have him up here, like he's, like.
Do you mind saying his name?
Otto Miller.
Otto Miller.
Okay. He's amazing. So I definitely good friend, and I've been watching what he's been doing. He's just a really good person. He has all these amazing sayings, like everybody gets to eat at the table, things like that. And so
that's one of my sayings too.
Yeah,
yes, it's wonderful.
So I owe so much to him, and very much, and I respect him so much. And I'm just like watching what he's doing. I'm not copying him. I'm just admiring from afar and noticing that there's no limits for sure. As has been mentioned before, and I'm definitely excited I hired my first agent, let's say a couple of weeks ago. Her name is Sandra, and she's amazing, and she came to me. I wasn't looking, And I say good things come, and whatever is meant, and I keep saying the saying too, whatever comes from the heart will come to you.
Yeah.
And so
you manifested her in
absolutely,
your life. Yes.
and we have the same sayings, and we had the same basis core values as well. And I believe that it was just meant to be that she came and crossed my path. And since then, she had plenty of brokers to interview with, high, like Keller Williams, Coldwell Bankers, so on. But she was like, I want to work with you because we both wanted to do well. We wanted to serve our community. I'm definitely helping out the Latin community as well, and so was she. And so, just recently I interviewed somebody else that was interested. They just got their license, and I was like, well, I will promise you I'll hold your hand all the way through. So I don't overpromise. I'm taking one at a time. But I'm excited that, the legacy goes on, right? It's like, what's your legacy in this world? So you got to figure out, what are you leaving behind? If anything, if I'm able to influence somebody or help somebody out way past when I'm gone, like, they could actually look back like that. This one person helped me out.
Yes.
I'm not, no strings attached. Just like, if I'm able to influence, if I'm able to help anybody out, I will.
Well, it seems like you've already done that, and you're continuing to do it. When people are going to think, from when you were helping, saving people's homes, that never goes away. People are going to sit back and think about you. They're going to look at their kids, and know that they have a house, and they have a place to lay down, and a kitchen to cook in because of you. So it seems like it's going to keep on going on and on. It's a really wonderful and great thing.
At first it was like because of me, but then it became because of us. It's like a total team.
There you go.
Yeah, I just, I got really sick when I was helping out so many families. I got really, really sick because I took it on like it was my home. And then I realized that I had to not care more than they did.
Oh.
It sounds weird to say it that way,
yeah.
But I just realized you just got to match people's energy.
Exactly.
And I that was how I started every single conversation or any interview. I would sit down with the family. I'd go over their financials. I would counsel them, and then I would let them know. I said, I really care about you, but I want you to care about yourself as well. So please match me, or I'll match you. But I won't go further than that. Don't take advantage.
Like you take a step, I take a step.
Yeah, let's do it together.
Yes.
But please don't take advantage, because I was leaving my babies. I had 4 boys. I was leaving them at home to be with them, to help them.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like, my calling at the moment.
Yeah, you got to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, then you're not going to be around to help the probably thousands of more people that you're going to help in your career.
Yeah, and gratefully so that there were other organizations that got really organized, and they started creating other programs to actually help it. So that being the past, I think we all learned a lot about budgeting.
Yeah.
We learned about making sure it's full documents, 30-year loans, don't go crazy over here. There's still some crazy loans out there. There's still the ARM loans. There's still things like that. At the end of the day, it's just product.
Mm-hmm.
And you choose the product you want to work with, right? For multi-million-dollar homes, I'm noticing most of them are still using the ARM loans, but they also have a fast lifestyle. So they're staying at homes for 2-3 years max, and then they're switching. That's just how they're doing. That's how they roll. But over here, it's just more stability. You're creating more stability, and it's 30-year loans. And so a couple of the folks that I've helped out recently, depending on the area, so since I was born and raised in the Bay Area, I know the areas pretty well. And I was able to help a couple of folks where it's the seller gave them credit for their closing cost, or the lender did. So we got creative to piece it all together to actually make it happen where it wouldn't have happened if they didn't get the help.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So what message do you have for people who have the idea of getting into real estate, or they're just starting to get into real estate? What's the pitfalls that you've come across that you can help someone else to make their transition into this career a little bit easier?
Yeah, so it's interesting because with real estate you have to really brand yourself. That's for sure one, right? But then you just also don't want to be all about yourself. At the end of the day, it should be about your client and who you're servicing.
Okay.
At the end of the day. So it's basically, what could I do for them? So if they could actually figure that out on their marketing, that would be very helpful to them. You see a lot of top 1%, number 1 agent, blah, blah, which is great. No one's, but at the end of the day, it's what could you do for your client? what, how could you continue that? So with agents that are starting out, there's a lot of great brokerages out there. They're all they have so much to offer. It's again going back to product. It's what works for you, your personality, and I would highly recommend to find a mentor through the whole process. And don't get lazy. Wake up super early. Get yourself out there. And if you're in the office, that means you're not selling. That's just how it is. You just got to be hitting the streets, going out there trying to help as many people as possible, and finding yourself to see where you could be useful. Because even by contributing, giving back to the community, or doing something like that, it will turn around. They'll get to know your personality and who you are, what you're about, and how you could be helpful. And then that creates trust, right? Rapport, trust. Therefore, it will turn out into, guess what? You might have your first client right there. You just enroll them to trusting you by just being a good person and giving back to the community.
So do you remember your first client?
I do. I was an HR manager for the Dollar Tree Distribution Center for all Northern California, and I was very close with all my employees. And one of them, and I say employees, but associates, and one of them came out to me and said, "Hey, I don't have good credit. Nobody wants to bear any kind of their time, and could you please help me?" Sorry, I'm getting excuse me. And I got excited. I was like, "Okay, you're gonna let me help you?" He said, "No, well, could you help me? Because nobody wants to help me." So I'm like, I'm down, I'll do it. So I just took it on. I said, "Here's the deal. If I work my butt off and help you clean up your credit and get you all straight up and get you into a home, could you just please refer me?" He's like, "Of course." And he was his word and I was my word.
Wow.
And I cleaned up his credit. I did a lot of work. I helped him, got him credit back, got him in his first house. And Adrian, and that's his name, and his wife, and so I got him in his house, and he referred me to 3 different families, and then I helped them the same way, and they referred me to 3, and
that's how it goes. All right. So really good. So you said you have 4 boys?
I have 4 beautiful boys.
Wow.
Yes, they're taller than me. They're like, yeah. So they're beautiful. I have a 12-year-old, Alex, and then I have twins, Michael and Mark. They're taller than both of us, of course. And then my Andrew, my oldest son, Andrew.
Oh.
He's 17 this month.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're definitely my motivation.
Yes, kids can be a motivator.
Absolutely. Yes. So, everything I do is for them, that's for sure.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, is there any last words you want to say to the people that are listening, to potential clients, to potential employees?
First, I just don't want anyone to let or allow the market to dictate what's going to happen to their life. It's like take in full control of your own life, design your life. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't let anyone else design it for you. Yeah. And so everything else will follow, and everything with good intention will result with great intention. So, meaning you'll get amazing results if you have your intentions clear as doing good.
Yeah, all about perspective, intentions, Absolutely. The right energy, yes. Listening to the right people and ignoring the wrong people.
That's right.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah. So who are you again?
Ana Reynoso.
Did you want to say your business name?
And it's right now Ana Reynoso.
Okay.
Which is Ana Lilia Reynoso, my full name, legally as a broker, and I just submitted all my paperwork so it could be Reynoso Properties Inc.
Okay. And do you have a website?
And it's on its work. It's fresh. You guys are getting me fresh. But Instagram's up, Facebook's up.
Okay.
And you definitely could find me on Facebook, Ana Lilia Reynoso, and I'd be more than happy to help, definitely. And if I can't help, I'll find a way to help. I'm very resourceful.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that wonderful story on how you help people, and very inspirational tonight.
I hope so. Thank you. Paying it forward.
Yes. Well, thank you, everyone. Queen Myesha here, and what a wonderful interview with Ana. And see you guys again. Bye-bye.
Thank you.